Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. Bit of a blustery morning this morning, but an overcast or relatively overcast sky. There's a bit of blue, which has prompted me to come out this morning. I've got a couple of hours free this morning. I've come to the Avon, not far from home, it's only about 10 minutes away. Now I've come to this stretch, I've never been here before. I've walked along here occasionally with the dog. I've never fished it before, but I've been messaging a chap called Aid from the local club and keep in touch with club matters and various bits and pieces, and also with club results. And I know from his information and a couple of other people I've spoken to that this swim seems to hold some chub. So that's the plan this morning, get in here, do a bit of chub fishing. Now, as I say, I've only got a couple of hours this morning, and it's about 10 o'clock now, so I'm not sure how productive this will be. It's not exactly early morning. But you never know. If they've been coming out in matches, then obviously they'll come out during the day. The river's very clear though, I'm not too hopeful, but we'll have a go, I've got with me my normal stick float setup. I've also bought with me a Waggler setup, which is a 13-foot Advanta float rod and another 125mm close face reel on there. So I'm not sure what we'll use. It's not particularly deep in here, it's only sort of 3 or 4 foot. We'll have a crack, see how we get on. Baits wise, very simple. I bought about a pint and a half of old maggots. It's all I've got in the freezer at home, and I've got some mashed bread and some bread to put on the hook, and that's it. I'll get this in the ground, which we can do relatively easily, as long as it's not going to be in the way. That's better. Blimey, some hard rock under there. I think that's enough to roll down maggots. I'll really try not to get a boot full, because I'm pushing the boots a little bit. But we'll see what we can do. Even if we don't catch anything, be a nice bit of practice. God, I'm pushing my wellies. Doesn't get much deeper. It does. I'm gonna have to come back a bit. Could have put my waders on, but they're actually at home drying, so wasn't really an option. Trouble is as well, when I'm standing in one place, because it is a bit muddy, I'm sinking. Right, we'll get these maggots in. As I say, we need to use them up anyway. They're horrible old maggots and about 20% casters. We'll keep pinging these in, see if we can do anything. I'll get on the mashed bread as well. Got a couple of loaves mashed up. I'll keep pinging them in while we get set up, and then we'll have a crack. Right, what I'm going to try out is this. It's a reverse taper Waggler with a big bulbous top on it. The idea being I can drag this along the bottom, and in theory it shouldn't get dragged under. That's the theory anyway. Obviously it's not going to be very sensitive. As I say, I'm not holding out too much hope, to be honest. But you never know. God, it's been an awkward cast here. Oh, that's working nice. I do a similar thing with the stick float, to be honest. God, we're in weeds already, look. Blimey, it's a good start. Big weed bed down there. Right, this may not be the way to go today. We'll have a few runs through, see what happens. I think we may need to fish up in the water today. So this may not be the best way to go. Certainly if we get them going on maggots. Aye. There we go. We're in first run through, look. I feel a tiny fish. What's this? Perch. Well, we've not blanked. Cracking. Well, I wasn't expecting to be stood here in the sun, I have to say. I think we might, like I say, if these fish come up in the water, we might need to to play with this rig a bit, because at the moment I've got an Olivet quite low down, which is probably completely the wrong move today. But I just did want to have a little bit of a go at just dragging the bait along the bottom. That's getting lots of bites along there. And it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's running along the bottom nicely. We're getting bite in the same place every time. These all perch at the moment. But we're having a few fish, which is cracking. I say I'm not gonna break out the keep net for a few perch. There we go. As soon as it gets by those rushes over there, start to get bites. I guess it's where the maggots are sinking. Well, we'll give it a couple of hours, as I say. Hopefully we can get some chub going. There we go. All perch so far. But hey, we're getting bites, and I was going to say a bite of chuck. It's not even that. It's about 3 bites of chuck. Certainly can't moan. Certainly no autumns here. Blimey. Just a constant parade of leaves coming down. I am liking this method though. Dragging this waggler along the bottom. It's nice, that is. It's just dragging there. I think that's bites. That's a bite, isn't it? No. It's good as well trying to read the float. Read exactly what it's doing. See, that looked like the bottom, but it wasn't. Well, certainly a fish of chuck. Unfortunately, it's all microscopic perch. That really is going to make me want to go on the bread flake. We'll stick at it for half an hour or so though. Like I say, I'm enjoying just using this method. But I'm gonna reshot in a minute. We'll take these Olivets off and shot this up properly. So it fishes through the water. At the moment it's just getting straight to the bottom, which I think is not ideal. The first tiller fiddlers are on the way. It's a bit better. What's this? Pulling back, certainly. Looks like a net job. What we got? Stripey. Well, it is a net job. Well, no monster, but the biggest one of the day so far. Certainly pulled back. I always forget how well perched fight. Right guys, bit of a change up. I'm going to fish through the water now. My Olivet, which I was dragging along the bottom, I've now pushed it up right next to the float, because I trap it between a couple of float stops so I can move it about, because it slides on the line. It's an inline Olivet. So we've got that right up by the float. So the float will cock immediately. And then what we're going to do, or what I've done I should say, is put a couple of droppers on just below, or strung out along the line. So we'll fish on the drop now, see what happens. I'm thinking we might get a bit bleaked out, to be honest, but we'll see. You can always change it up again. Right, let's try that. Cool, that float bouncing along. Blimey, that's just torn off. Oh, got me. Yeah, see, this is what I thought might be the problem. Yes, I thought that might happen. Bleak. I think we might have to return to Plan A. Well, he had no trouble in pulling that float under. Float went shooting away sideways. I thought for a minute it was a chub. Wait, tore off. It's like you have to pick your moments when you want to feed. Between the big gusts of wind. Oi, hello. This is not a little fish. It's definitely a chub. Oh, it's off. Well, that's frustrating. That was a chub. So the chub are here. It's come off. Ah! Well, that's great. And the way he went charging off over there, I clearly live under that tree. But that's a bit annoying. I'll change my hook link. That hook feels a bit funny. A bit barbed, bird over. It's clearly why he came off. Well, we're doing the right thing. Well, we are running out of maggots. Caught me completely unawares, that did. Right. Keep trying. Keep trying. But yeah, charged straight back in there and the hook pulled. But if they're here, then that's great because we can perhaps get on the bread flake as well. There we go. Feels a better fish. It's pulling back. What's this? It's not heading for the tree, bizarrely. It's certainly pulling back. Just trudging upstream. A strange fight. Not charging around or anything, not going for the snags. Yeah, what is this? I haven't seen it yet. It's trying to get in some reeds down by my feet. This feels a nice fish. What is it? It is a chub. It doesn't feel like a chub at all. It's a chub. Oh, now he decides to go in the reeds. So I reach for the landing net. Come on. Well, we've got one. Don't feel as big as that last one we had. Oh, we've got a chub. Cracking. Well, that's fantastic. Exactly what we came out for. Beautiful colours as well in this clear water. Right, I think as we've had one and lost one, we'll get the landing net, the keep net in the water. Clearly a few about. I can stick it out a bit longer if I fancy it today. Not got a curfew like I often have when I come out on the Avon. Get you in there. Go on. Right. First of a few, I hope. Although, as I mentioned, I am running out of maggots. So, we'll see. We've got 1/2 weight of bread to keep us going if we do run out of maggots. Oh, hello. And that is why I'm not a matchman. Because I should be feeding and holding the rod at the same time. Completely the wrong float for this. It's really bobbing about in the chop, which is not what you want at all. But like I say, I did want to do a little bit of a practice with it for dragging a bottom. But like I say, not really great for fishing this swim and doing what we're doing. Perhaps we will when we go on bread. think I'll definitely come back here, have another go in here. Perhaps when conditions are a little bit better. I'll certainly weigh my waders next time. Get out there a bit further. Make things a lot easier. Could almost fish a stick float then. There we go. Hello, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, I've turned him. God, blimey. I've not used this rod much before. It's nice, actually. Cool, feels a better fish. Be a bit careful with this one. Could do with getting out there. I just can't. Not unless I want a boot full. Come on, in you come. Come on. There's some streamer weed down there. Trying to get his head in it. Oh, got him, mate. Come on. Oh, it's getting in to the edge over there, of course. That's what we could do with being out there. Come on, out. Oh, slightly better fish. Come on. Cool, what a scrap. Well, the local info was right, wasn't it? Cracking. And it's not even very good conditions. Imagine what it fishes like when it is good conditions. It's about that. Cracking. For a couple of hours at 10 o'clock in the morning, this is cracking. I say the fishing here, generally the fishing's very, very difficult when the river is clear like it is now. But for some reason, chub in here, happy to have a munch. I say they've been coming out in matches, which is how I found out about it. Because I'm in touch with a guy from the club, this guy who runs the social media side of things. So yeah, thanks, Aid. Very kind of you. I've never fished this stretch at all. I've been in this club for years, probably 10 years at least. I've never fished this stretch at all. Oh, the wind swung around a bit now. It's making it very tricky. Yeah, this rod's acquitted itself well, I have to say. God, I've really punched that out. I say it's only sort of cheapy Advanta float rod. 13 foot. As I say, it's acquitting itself very well. This shows you don't need expensive gear to get out and fish. I think I picked this reel up for about 30 quid off eBay. £1.99 for the float. A few bits and pieces, you're away. It's very hard to judge this. I'm casting at a willow. So, I'm going to judge the wind. Oh, blimey, that's a bite. I'm going to really try and judge the wind. If it's blowing hard, I punch it hard. If it's not, then obviously I don't. Oh, and again, look. Right, I need to feed, then cast. Because casting, then feeding isn't working. I keep getting bites. That's a nice bite. Oh, that was a chub then. I think it's a perch again. Well, this one's rocking now. I have to say, I don't know how long we've been at it. At least an hour, I would think. Probably more like an hour and a half. But it's rocking. Another reasonable perch. Certainly, if you're match fishing, there's a weight builder, isn't it? Not that I know anything about match fishing. Right. Feed, then cast. I've missed 2 bites that could well have been chubbed then. last couple of runs through. Yeah, definitely another swim to keep in the back pocket. It's fairly quick to get here. If it fishes like this, if the chub are up for it, conditions like this, then when conditions are good, fill your boots time. Talking of fill your boots, hopefully I won't. I haven't had to fish right up against the tree to get the chub bites either. I'm clearly out and about. It's a very shallow run. I reckon when I was running the float with the Olivet down on the bottom, it's probably only 3.5 foot deep. I mean, we're at summer levels. It's very low at the moment. The thing is about this stretch as well, as I've heard, again, and seen social media stuff, there's some big old chub in here as well. Certainly a bit further down, there's been some 6s coming out. So, might be worth doing a bit sort of fishing into dark on a feeder and stuff. Oh, I'm doing it again, look. Feed, then cast. I say I'm no matchman. I can't feed and fish at the same time. Oh, now we're blown upstream. That's not a bad wind to have. Certainly switch around a bit. All right, oh, blimey there. Just got my line caught on this stinging nettle, and I was just trying to pull it off, and I felt the tip go. Wow, God, bending that rod. You can tell it's not a power float. It's just a float rod. Fantastic. Oh, it's a proper scrap. It doesn't feel massive, but certainly fighting. He's giving up. Come on, in you come. Another lovely fish. Cracking. Again, another young looking fish. She's brilliant. Wonderful. Like peas in a pod. Absolutely cracking. This is fantastic. I'm loving this, can you tell? I mean, they're not massive. Probably £1.5. Probably pushing £2. Something like that. But great sport. And to be honest, I'm not sure you want to catch anything bigger float here next to that tree. But yeah, that was a cracking bite. He absolutely grabbed them and tore off back under the tree. I think they're shooting out from under the tree, grabbing the maggots and shooting back again. Well, this is cracking. It's that 3 chub and 1 fell off. Been having him on double. Let's try single. I'm getting my eye in with that cast as well now, even with this chop. It's a bit easier with the wind going right to left. It's going upstream now, so you can probably see all the waves. Yeah, looking forward to autumn. Do love the autumn. Blimey. Yes. Now the wind seems to be going that way and this way all at the same time. Yeah, I love the autumn. I am a fan of the summer. I know a lot of river anglers prefer the winter and the autumn, but I do like the summer. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the autumn. Some perch fishing, some zander fishing. Then we'll get into the proper winter and we'll do some roach fishing and some chub fishing. That was nice as well. It's nice to come fish a swim where you haven't got to get up at silly o'clock to get the fish going. I say these do look fairly young fish, so I think they're probably. There's another one. Look at that. No. They're probably a bit naive. This one feels a bit better. Just plodding. Cool. Straight away, as soon as I cast that in. No monster, he's giving up a bit now. Charging all around the swim there to wreck it for me. Ooh, hello. Ooh, blimey. Doesn't feel massive. Blimey, scrapping. Come on. Bending that rod. It's quite forgiving though, for doing this sort of thing. I did use it once before, catching some silvers with it, and it's a bit stiff in the tip for that. It's nice and forgiving for this. God, he's got me in this weed. Look down here. I think he's got me in him as well. I think he has got me in him. Come on, out you come. There we go. And he feels a good fish, this one. Oh, it looks a good fish as well. Come on, there. They're all trying to get in there as well. So I'm trying not to bring him in too quickly. Oh, he's a better fish. God. Oh, that's a proper one. Blimey, that is a proper one. Well, we're trying to have a look at this one. Phew, it's an absolute unit. Absolute tank. How's about that? What a cracking fish. Wonderful. I'm loving this, can you tell? Right, let's get him in the keep net. See if we can catch another one. But yeah, we're going to be on mashed bread in a minute. But to be honest, if we go home before we use any mashed bread, I shan't be sad. We've had a cracking morning. Well, a couple of hours. That's a little knock. Chub don't mess about generally though, do they? You know when it's a chub. If you don't strike, it pulls the rod out your hand. I'm not landing this waggler with any grace most of the time. As I say, I'm blaming the wind. Joking aside, it is tricky conditions, to be honest. That's a bit better. Just trying to check it just before it hits the water, because I'm having to punch it really hard. It's very tricky. Oh, I think that was another one. He just bumped him off. So guys, I've just had a quick check of the time. It's just gone 12 o'clock, so we've had 2 hours at it. I think I might have another half an hour. Well, I've had a cracking catch of chub. Very, very happy with that. Certainly, the icing on the cake was that big one. But yeah, I can almost count how many maggots I've got left by eye. We'll get another cast out of that maggot. Ooh, that's nice. There we go. What did I say? Just close enough to the tree. The maggot landed about a foot away from the tree. Come on. Doesn't feel massive. Get his chin up across that weed. Of course, he's going to try and get into that weed. God, hardly see. That's shimmery. Got him. Well, what a session. As I say, big thanks to Aid for the info. It's another cracking fish. Wonderful. Well, I am absolutely gobsmacked at this fishing in the conditions. I say I'm not doubting what I was told, but I kind of think it kind of goes against everything you know about the Avon. You just think, no, it doesn't fish in these conditions. It doesn't fish in this clarity. Well, I think we'll have 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe on bread. But I'm going to have to see if I can throw mashed bread far enough. Right, so I've got a stack of mashed bread in here. It's fairly wet because I like it fairly wet when I'm float fishing. We can get it out there. Look at that. We can, but the wind's not blowing at the moment. Right, let's put a bit of bread flakes through, see what happens. As I say, it doesn't really matter. We've had some lovely fish. We've had several fish and that cracking one as well. So, whatever happens, happens. That flake has certainly caught the wind like a parachute. All right. Oh, straight away. Went straight under. Oh, a bit of it came off and landed down here. I thought it'd come off. When I looked up, the float was gone and the rod started to get pulled round. Right. Well, they're clearly up for a bit of bread mash then. Oh, here comes the wind. Oh, blimey. I've cast that, it's gone round the corner. I couldn't cast that if I tried. There we go. Blimey, that was a lot further down the swim. A lot further down. I wondered if they followed that mashed bread down as it was sinking. Well, feels a decent fish. Blimey, pull him back. Sort of giving up now. Yeah, I almost brought that back in because I thought, oh, I'm not going to get a bite down there. If we do, it'll be the first one we've had down there. It's a nice fish. I'm going to tangle these reeds again. Come on. I wonder if, oh, that's another cracker. I wonder if they've been a bit cute with those maggots and because they could see the hook. Gosh, that absolute tank again. What a fish. Blimey. Absolute bruiser. How's about that? Another absolute tank. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Well, I'm going to stay a bit longer, I think. Cracking. Right, let's get him in the keep net. What a session. Yeah, so that bite was quite a long way down the swim. But I've watched chub sort of follow floating crust down the river. So I wonder if this is not sinking as quickly as the maggots and perhaps they're following it down there. I do leave all the crusts in as well, so there is some big lumps in here. Some sink, some float. If you want to see how I mash up this, I did a little video because I did get asked quite often. I did a little video on the Fishing Tips channel, so I'll stick a link up there. You can have a look if you want to see how I mash this up just to get it the right consistency. And that's wonderful. Yeah, we'll give it a bit longer. I was thinking about going. We've been here about 2.5 hours. Alright, there we go. I was just thinking I'm going to knock it on the head shortly. And that's sunk away. Oi, oi, oi. He's trying to get under that. Blimey. That's another reasonable fish. Yeah, I was just thinking, oh, it's gone very quiet. It's been about 15-20 minutes since we had that last bite, that last fish. I just thought, nah, we've upset him now. Let's go home. But seemingly not. God, another nice fish trying to get in the edge, of course. Oh, blimey, knocking all my stuff in the water. Fortunately, it's in a waterproof case. Come on. Oh, isn't that a nice fish? Right, rescue the gear. It's floating us down the river. Another cracker. How's about that? Wonderful. Wow. The hook's dropped out in the net. Cracking. Right, I think, as I said, I was just about thinking of going home. We'll perhaps have another 5 and get the hook out of the net. There we go. We'll perhaps have another 5 minutes. Quite interesting as well, the difference between using the different baits, 2 very different baits obviously. When we're fishing maggot, we get all the bites up there and pretty close to the tree. The 2 bites I've had on bread have been out in the river and much further downstream. I think it's just to do with the nature of what I'm feeding. You know, the maggots sink fairly quickly, whereas they do seem to be sort of following the bread off downstream a bit. No, that's it. I'm going to call it a day. That's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Cracking session. Better than I could have expected, to be honest, or hoped for. So guys, I'm not going to mess these fish about, haul them up the bank or anything to have any pictures, but I'll hold the net up quickly so you can see what we've had. Cracking net of chub, as you can see. I'm not very happy, so we'll get them back. Oh, this is one of the big ones. How's about that? Oh, well, we could have had a look at him. Good thing about doing it over the water, I think that was the biggest one. That's the second biggest one. Go on, back you go. Perch got in there somehow. God, they are so lively. It's great to see. Certainly had lots of time to recover. The last one. Fantastic. Well, it's not often I get to see them all like that at the end of the day, or end of the 2.5 hours we've been down here, but yeah, that's been cracking. As I say, I've said it several times, I'm sure, but this river just doesn't fish like this. Something about this swim at the moment. As I say, I heard about it, so thought come and give it a go. So once again, big thanks to Aid for the info. But yeah, cracking swim. I should definitely be back when conditions are more favourable and in my waders as well. Now, I will be out again in the next few days. I've got a session booked down the Y, so that will most probably be next time you see me. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that half as much as I did. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support. And I'll see you all again very soon.